am the editor-in-chief of Snow Magazine. I am Levar Ramzie Kemp, and today we have a very special group that many of you know, love, and adore. We have the Walls Group. We're super excited to have you all. And what we do on the sit down is we don't introduce fully who you guys are. We let you introduce who you are and how you want the public to know you. So we make it personal. So however, whoever wants to go first, you can go ahead and go from there.
Well, I'm Daryl. I'm the oldest.
Where's Rhea?
Sorry, I'm Rhea. Running around with like a chicken with my head cut off, but I'm Rhea. Hey.
You good.
I'm Alec. I am third, but top two, not two, period.
Nice. I'm Alia, and I'm the youngest.
Thank you. And this is the Walls Group. So let's start it off. With how did you all start? The basics of it. Where did it all begin for you all? Was it something that it was supposed to happen that way, or your talent? How did you step into the force that we all are musically inclined?
So we always like to say this is an intentional accident, right? It's an accident for us, but it was intentional for God. So we did not plan on being the Walls Group as everyone knows it today. That was not the goal. That was not the plan for us. Everybody had their own things going on. I was the one that really wanted to pursue music for real, but I didn't even want to pursue it here in gospel. I wanted to pursue it on the other side. That was my dream. Rhea was a track star. She was like #1 in our district, and like going to state. She was a thing. Paco was doing his thing. We were all just like this was not the goal. But we always sang. Our parents were musicians and very, 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 very musically inclined. And my mother would teach us how to sing, what she needed. She would use us as her practice tools. So when she would go to choir rehearsal to teach them, we got it first. Mm-hmm. So that's how we kind of learned how to blend and to harmonize and to sing and do all the things. That's how it started. And then from there, we just kind of got good. But to us, that we weren't really paying attention to that. It was just more so like, this is what we do because we're family. This is what we do. But then we went viral on Facebook and then on YouTube, and then thus the Walls Group was born. And here we go, like the Powerpuff Girls. It was an accident, but here we are.
Does anybody else want to add on to that, or no? That's we gonna go with that.
That's the villain origin story.
Okay, good. So it being in this industry, we see a lot from media side for us, for music, entertainment. It's the pressure of always being on top, always making sure we are on top of our content, on top of music, on top of the trends that are going on. How does the Walls Group keep themselves up to par on those things? Because you're keeping that in check, but at the same time, your mental in check. So how do you keep that focus?
We don't. I would say that I'm just being real. There is no trend or anything current that we are working overtime to keep up with. Good. One thing about us is we all kind of march to the beat of our own drum or the beat of whatever the rhythm the Lord gave us at the time. And whether it's like separate, but it's always separate but together. But I don't think any of us are like, what's going on? Because we don't participate in none of the singing challenges, the dance challenges. We don't even TikTok viral. We just doing the same thing we've been doing because, we don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
So, keeping the mental together, it's just, it's time. We spend a lot of time doing this. So it's not so much, we're not so, we got to make it anymore. It's like, yo, all right, so we've arrived somewhere. What are we putting in the ground? What are we about to do with where we are? And how are we about to build where we are? We're finally like in a settling place where everybody's like, okay, this is my corner over here. I'm gonna build this 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 over here. And what I think is funny is even in separate environments, we all kind of still have the same mindset. Like we all still kind of have the same mission. Whether I go sing R&B, you still see. I posted a video yesterday. I sing "Great Is Our Faithfulness" in the R&B venue in the R&B club. I'm like, I don't care. Like I tell them, like, mission is the same, but the environment or the call might be different. And so balancing it all, we kind of just all know where each other. We have like a shared vision of where we see this is going, and we all kind of commonly agree, at least on a few things, about this is kind of how we want to do this. So I'm gonna do my part, you pull your part, we pull our part, and it's kind of unspoken. We just kind of do it. But that's pretty much how we do it. We ain't trying to keep up. We kind of feel like we leading.
Okay. Okay. And then going back on that aspect, how do you keep your mental space? Your mental, clean, your mind restored, because this is a draining, like I know for us bringing up in the entertainment industry, it can be draining. It can be very draining. The hours that many of us run through, we run the whole work basically at 10 p.m. You could get a phone call that says, "Hey, we need you here this at this time, 1 a.m." Like how do you keep your mental space together on that level?
I think it has a lot to do with the relationship that we have with God, trusting Him to sustain us with the workload that He's called us to carry. The Bible says that His yoke is light, and you have to truly lean on God and trust Him in the seasons where you feel like, why are you calling me here? I don't feel like it. I don't have it. A lot of times I've noticed a pattern in I think it's multi-generational as well. I can't really just say it's the younger generation, but people who are working towards something, period. A lot of times you'll work yourself to death because you don't have a cap off for yourself. And I think as human beings, we're addicted to breaking our back to prove to ourselves that, we're worthy or we're valuable. But when you lean on God and allow Him to restore you and fill you up with what you need, I find that you don't find yourself overextending yourself too much. And I can't honestly say that it's just all us either. We also have a team that helps us to delegate our time to the things that we need. And even when we don't really feel like it, and it's not like something we want to do, I've noticed that a lot of time what you want to do or what you don't want to do a lot of times doesn't have anything to do with what needs to be done. So it's finding that balance between being mature enough to say, yeah, I don't really feel like it, but having accountability partners, be your siblings and also your team members. Check yourself, but also allowing them to have respect their opinion enough and respect the fact that maybe God might be speaking to them because He can't get to you because you don't want to hear it. Respecting them enough and respecting their position enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this, and also, it comes with balance. So it's a cycle of rewarding and also giving and pouring out, but also being poured into as well.
I want to add. I will add quickly. I think it also just for your personal self, learning what placing boundaries where they need to be placed as well, from industry to family to friends to anything. So when we are so pulled on, as it relates to what we do for a living, you have to find that thing in you that just says, all right, enough is enough. Like she said, enough is enough. And today I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I won't be doing this, and I won't be going here, and I won't be doing any of those things because I need me time by myself.
Right.
And I'm going to take that time, whether y'all like it or not. And then that has been something that we've had to learn how to do, specifically because we grew up as children in the industry. And that means when you're a child, most times you're doing what you're told to do. So be there. But growing up and learning how to say, actually, nah, y'all just going to have to figure that out. No, I'm not doing that. And, I'm not going there, and I don't need the money. So I'm not coming. And being okay with those decisions, but also being okay with those decisions as it relates to even future things, and saying, so if I say no to this, I have to understand that in the future that might cost me X, Y, and Z, but I have to be okay with that. But yeah, boundaries for sure.
I mean, I'm not always gonna be like, I need the money, whatever y'all can say that. I'll be like, yo, I need it. I'm still not coming.
No, I think y'all you've all highlighted what you're saying because I think some people don't understand that you have to use the word no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to make a boundary, because sometimes many people think that I have to keep going. In order for me to break a certain way, I have to keep going. And what you do is you you empty yourself. And I had to learn that the hard way where it put me in the hospital type situation. So you have to be really, really careful on that because your body will stop you. You don't want to stop, that's fine. If not, God will stop you. Don't worry. Someone will get a hold of you at any any moment. So you have to be, self-conscious of that. So that's a good point that you reach out and say. So let's talk about the new single "I Need You." What was the inspiration behind that, and what took all of it to come to this release of the third studio album?
So I Need You came out. We were in the studio working on a lot of the other songs. I think we honestly had just finished the song that was released Friday, which is So Into You. We were working on that. And every time we would do a song or we would have a break, we would just literally bust out and start singing, "Oh, and I need." And we just would do it and be funny, but just doing it because it sounded good and it was fun. And then we finally was like, this is the song. So we literally sat down and wrote that. Me, Aja, and Paco, and Warren played the guitar. We sat and we wrote it. And then we came back last year and Warren was like, we need a bridge. And we was like, really? It's fine the way it is. And then added with Eric Dawkins came in and we sat down and we wrote the bridge. And it became the song that it is. And it's one of our favorite songs in the entire record. We actually wanted it to be the first single. We don't tell nobody no business, but we really wanted it to be the first single. But we thought it would be cool, decided that it would be better to be like the next to like kind of, whatever. But it was good. It's good. It's an amazing song. It's basically talking about the fact that we need God. We all have moments in our lives where we decide to choose other things, whether that be relationship, job, career, family, whatever we decide to do. We think that when He blesses us with those things, we get distracted by those things.
Right.
And where He was number one at first, now He becomes number 2 or 4 or 6. And we realize it's like life is weird now. Like it's not as easy as it was before, or it's not as peaceful as it was before. And you realize that, hey, somebody's not number one. That's why. And we're just basically putting Him back in His place, whether that is through pain or through, just realizing that something is weird, or knowing that He is still number one and you just want to just express to Him, hey, you're number one and I need you. And that's where the song came from.
Got you. And what was is there any inspiration that you guys draw from whenever you create music? Is there, or growing up, individuals that you looked into or were like, what, this is who I gained my style. I know that you guys create your own, you have your own unique style on how you guys sing and where you place music at. But is there any inspiration any places that you draw inspiration from?
I think I speak for all of us when I say, I think musically, sonically, we have all, at least for me, I listen to women who have voices kind of like mine, learning how to sing growing up. But I think lyrically, writing music and making music for ourselves, I think we kind of all just wanted to be authentic. I think authenticity is like a big thing for us. Like, and I'm not sure if it isn't for everybody, but I know specifically from where we come from, we don't do too much faking. I think it's actually impossible. I've heard people say we're a little bit too honest, and we come from that. My mom is very brutally honest, and she'll say, you might not like what I'm saying, but at least I'll never lie to you.
Right.
So I think that with what we're putting out musically, as much as we can, maybe you don't like what we're saying, or maybe you don't even like how we're saying it, but at least we'll never lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So it comes from, I personally know that, what God will give us, we'll put that out. Even if it's not accepted, even if we don't put it in the song, we're all coming from a place of, this is how I truly feel, and this is what I really want to say. And whatever we come up with after that is what we come up with.
Got you. And what do you say to those individuals that, because you guys are role models, people look up to you, on many, right? That it gets scary sometimes when people say that, but it's the truth. Uh, Everybody looks up to, like whatever industry, whatever field you're in, whatever you decide to own on, what do you say to those individuals? Like, you know what? That's my passion as well. That's a goal that I want to get to. Because like I said, you're all role models. What advice could each one of you give to that individual that's like, you know what? I see myself in that person. I see this, I see that. What kind of advice or type of a nugget can you give towards them to say that?
I would say this is that we all have people that we look up to, that we love, role models, that we see ourselves in them, and it's good to glean from them, and it's good to take what you need to take from them to apply it to your life, but also understand that you are not them, and also to not put them on a pedestal either, because everyone is human. We're all dealing with the same stuff, even when it's different. It's still the same. We're dealing. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that I've learned is that even though I love Jada, I love Will, I love Kevin Hart, I love Trevor Noah, I love all these people that I learn from, but I realize and have a reality as it relates to who they are, as in they're human, which also for me makes them even more cool to know that they can mess up, they can do all these things. So I would encourage everybody else to, when you look at us, do not put us up there and say they are this, they are this. Don't do that. Understand and look at it from the perspective as you're looking yourself in the mirror, like, got it. And that if we can push forward and move through things that we've moved through, as can you. You know what I'm saying? And that even though people may deal with life and feel like they cannot overcome, you can. Because everybody on this situation right here has dealt with their own thing and still dealing with life. You can definitely do the same thing. That's what I want for everybody to see from us.
Anybody else want to?
If I could just piggyback, also, I would definitely say for people who are looking at us, because we're gifted, influenced by God for sure. So, and I definitely know that nothing that He does is by happenstance, but it's all for a reason. So I feel like He has definitely ordained us to this place, which I used to hate a lot, but I realize it is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I would just definitely tell people, kind of piggybacking off what Daryl said, we are just mere mortals. We're regular, regular people. Saying it to say that when you're called to something, there's a standard that God has, but I would just definitely say that in the, however you're looking at us, but specifically for the body of Christ, you don't come to God perfect. You don't come to God having it all figured out. You don't come to God reformed. You come to God for reformation. You come to God with a changed mind or an idea of, maybe I want to do things differently, and He does the work. And so I don't want us to get caught up in thinking that because we see people be so gifted, gifts come without repentance. I don't want us to, like Daryl said, put people on a pedestal and start to really worship the creation and not the creator. If you look at us and love our gifts, know that there's a loving, sovereign, amazing, awesome, can't put into words, God who gave us those gifts, and He gave you your own gift that is just as impactful, just as powerful. And if you spend the time and take the time to walk with God through how to communicate your gift to a world of people who need that gift, otherwise He wouldn't have gave it to you, then you'll be effective the same way you might feel like we're effective, or not even the same way, but in whatever way God's called you to. But what I'm trying to convey is basically just the fact that don't look to us for any type of special anything. You know what I'm saying? You should always look up. And you can't look up at us because we're all on the same level. Like, we're all the same, like Daryl said. So if you're going to look anywhere for guidance, look anywhere for any type of sound teaching or anything, look upwards.
Then our the last question we're gonna ask you all. We do a thing here at the Sit Down. We do a thing where we ask these three questions that combine together, and each one of you answer it because we have the number 3 in our name. So we ask you the things. So the first question that is Well, you guys actually answered one of them because I asked you what his inspiration was. What's 3 words that best describe each one of you and who you are as an individual?
I'll say this for me: quiet, intuitive, and observant.
Okay. Anybody else want to go and say what 3 words best describe?
All right, I got you. So my first word is strategic. My second word is unassuming. And my third word is bomb. BOMB. And whatever you take that to mean, good, bad,
That's what's gonna
or
be.
it's in there. Yeah.
Got you.
I guess I'll go next. My first word will be, and yes, this is all one word, a little much. But this is also a word too, full of life.
You say mas, that means more. That means like more Spanish.
I guess they all mean the same thing. Let's see. I haven't had to do this, so I really don't know.
It always throws people off.
So, I am a dog mom, if that counts. I don't know if you saw him, but he won't get off my back. What else?
That's 3. You just gave us
That's
3
three.
phrases.
You didn't even give us no words.
That was not a word.
about
These were
yourself.
phrases.
Right.
This is a bio.
Thanks. That's it. Thank you.
Got you. And so the
All
final
right.
thing that I want to ask you all is what you want to let people know. What's like the last words you want people to know from this interview? Like what's a thing that you want to pinpoint? You guys gave some great, insight on it. But what do you want people to get from this complete album?
From
That's
this
that comes
album,
out of it.
what do you want people to take away from this album?
Yes. Like from the album, just overall, who the Wall Street Piper, either or it can be.
Well, I want people to take away, at least now I ain't gonna speak for everybody because y'all might not agree with the way I say this. But I want people to take away from the fact I just want them to peep that we both listened and did not listen to everything and anything that they said. So whereas it relates to this is what we want to hear from y'all. Of course, we take that into account. We take into what people like love from us, but on the sense of the negativity, the naysay, all of that, and how it's, people will use God to bring you down and they'll try to bottle and box in your message. We didn't hear none of that. And all of this is all outside the box. And y'all gonna be so mad and we gonna be so glad. And it's just how it's gotta be.
Love it. That was
I agree with that. I don't have any of that. Truly.
I'll add that you can do anything.
Oh,
You can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything you want to do. It's easy to fall, like he said, it's easy to fall into what everybody says about you and what everybody wants to put the picture that they want to paint for you, but you do not have to subscribe to any of that. All you need to do is what is in you. That's it.
Ooh, that's good.
That's all you can do anything. I don't care what they say you can't do, what they say you can do, what they put the limits on. You can do anything. We are living proof that you can rise above anything, you can do anything, you can be anything, regardless of where you come from, where you are, and where you might go. You can still do anything. And when you hear this record, y'all gonna be like, wow, they can do anything. So I want you to take it and say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So there's that.
Pretty much.
I love it. Oh, wow. Okay. I also wanted to just say,
okay.
That's so good. God can do anything through, to, and for anyone. And so if you feel like maybe it's too late for you, maybe you feel like the life you've lived or the things that you've done disqualify you from God being able to use you in a mighty way, that's a lie from the devil. God doesn't deal in shame. He doesn't deal in guilt. So whenever you're ready to stop hating yourself, stop allowing people's hate to penetrate your heart, stop allowing people's words to curse you and to keep you bound. Whenever you're ready, God is doing a new thing always. God is always in the business of transformation. He's always in the business of reformation. So there's always something that you can stand to get at the throne of God. So you're never too much, you're never too lost, you're never too far gone. God can do anything.
Awesome. Well, you guys, I'm gonna give you a little side thing. I appreciate you guys for joining us today on Snub Magazine's to sit down to talk with me. But a side note, you remember I brought up earlier that I was in the hospital because I had a. So I'll just tell you guys real quick. I had a ruptured appendix. I got rushed to ER. Everything. Passed away 3 times. What's crazy is what I don't know is I played status when I got out the hospital over and over again. And you guys were the group that got me through a lot of stuff because I was ready to give up entertainment. I've been in entertainment for a while, doing interviews. But when I sat back and started listening to the lyrics, because you know how you like a song, you're like, oh, that's my song. And you growing up in a church, you hear a song over and over, and it's like, oh, that's my song, but you don't really sit and marinate on the words that are said during the song. But I sat and literally played that song over and over again, and it like broke me to a certain place because you never know how broken you get till you get to a certain place, and you're like, here we go. So, but I just want to say thank you guys for that song. I personally want to say thank you guys for that because that right there really got me through some things, and it popped off with Snub the way that it did, and here we are today. So I personally had to say that and let you guys know that I appreciate just that message, no matter if anybody else tell you anything else, but that message right there, it kept me through some stuff. So I greatly appreciate you guys for that.
Solidarity, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We appreciate that.
No problem. No
Well,
problem.
we're glad you're here.
I'm so happy you're here.
Definitely.
Nah, for real. It's freaking fire.
But you guys keep going, keep doing your thing. We're all in it with you all, no matter what people say, do, and keep going.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Like, I have a good one.
You
You too.